Want to look leaner and be stronger? Then check out the Nuva Bar. It actually helps you work out. The Nuva Bar is the compact, lightweight way to regain freedom and balance. It targets your lower body, upper body, abs, and core without getting down on the floor. Best of all, the Nuva Bar is now on sale for just $99.99 plus free shipping and comes with interchangeable resistance bands with 7 full workouts. So if you want a trimmer waistline to look like you're 40 in your 60s, get the Nuva Bar and forget about crunches on the floor. Go to nuvabar.com. That's NUVABAR.com.
We'll happy, upbeat kind of a song, and why wouldn't it be happy and upbeat? It's Comets 10 to B, Mark Rosen, Deuce. We're all here having a wonderful time today. Still 2 giveaways to get to. We're going to give away a $100 gift card to 5 Iron Golf. 5 Iron Golf is the latest addition to the golf simulating business, but TrackMan technology, which is big. Those TrackMan machines cost, it was a time, probably more now, but at least $25,000, $30,000 a machine, and they're cool, and they tell you exactly where your ball goes if you hit knockdown, punch, cut, fade, draws. So they have, like, I think 6 different bays there, and they got they got the coffee tables and the nice plush couches, the modern look, the leather couches.
It's one of the North Loop, right?
Yeah, it's in the North Loop.
About?
Yeah. They also have chef-inspired creations, really good food.
Nice.
And they have craft cocktails and such. So we're going to give away a $100 gift card for that. And they do, whether it's a corporate outing, private party, just friends, want to start a league there, it's all there for you. Go to 5irongolf.com and book your time. And then one more big one. Yeah. I think there's, we've been threatening to stop doing stand-up. I think people are on to us.
Threatening?
Well, I think people are on to us. I think they realize that there's...
Oh, no, don't stop that.
No.
Oh, no.
I think this might, and we have like a couple more shows scheduled over the next couple of months. The Twin, we got to go through with them.
You have to, no.
And I blame Meat Sauce for not freshening up his material enough. I'm going to put it.
He has to now.
I'm going to throw him under the bus.
No.
But we're going to be at the Cinema Grill tomorrow. It won't be hard to get a seat right now.
I don't believe that. I think there's going to be a big rush.
Well, we generally sell late.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of comedy does, but particularly us, because I think what happens is, you've heard me say it a million times, the guy will go, well, I've sorted the socks, the paint's dry, and the asphalt's tucked away in the corner of the garage.
Yeah.
Got nothing better to do. Why don't we go on TV? Yeah, why don't we go watch Sauce, Common Man, Larry Mondello guy? But Colleen Justice, now I don't think you've worked with her.
I have not.
She's really funny. She's a terrific comedian, and she will be joining us.
Is she the headliner now?
I guess I'm going to close. I'll ask her if she wants to close.
You have to be the Rick Aguilera of the show.
Meat Sauce only agreed to do it if I closed.
Okay.
Because he wasn't even going to do any more comedy for a while because, he
got booed off the stage.
Well, because he thought raising kids was going to be hard, and he goes, it's simple. Well, it's because his wife's doing all the work, of course. So he wasn't going to do any comedy until like mid-February. Right. But now I called him. I said, are you sure you're out? Can you work Friday? This was last week. He goes, don't see why I can't. So he is now in, but he said, but you got to close. So in other words, I'll be just finishing my set, and he'll be back home in his home in Edina.
Right.
But I said I would close. It's tough to follow Sauce. He's following Sauce at the New Hope Cinema Grill would have been like following the late Robin Williams at the Comedy Store.
Same thing.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of difference in the comedy between the two of them. We'll give away tickets for the show here in a little bit. Now, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell both met with the media for, I guess you call them season-ending interviews, kind of take stock of where we've been, where we're going, and where we're at. Did you get a chance to listen?
I did. I heard both of them, yes.
And what are your thoughts in general? First of all, with what Kwesi, maybe just your general thoughts on the two news conferences.
Nothing surprising. They're both very good adept at twisting a phrase and telling you a lot without telling you a lot. And that's what all good GMs and head coaches do. I mean,
very non-committal today.
Well, I mean, they're not. What are they going to be committal?
Right, you can't expect them to. No, that's true.
Listen, here's our game plan for our free agency. We have $70 million to spend. We're going to spend $40 million on an offensive lineman. We're going to spend $20 million on a defensive back.
And we're going to say goodbye, Sam Darnold,
and we're going to say
J.J.
goodbye.
McCarthy's
exactly. Well, I mean, fill in the blanks. You understand what's going to happen. I think the big thing is, number one, and I heard you guys talking about it a little bit, any of these so-called rumors that, there could be tension among any boss-employee relationship, but Kevin O'Connell's coming back to be the head coach of this football team, and Kwesi's going to be back as a GM, and you can put that to bed.
You sure?
Yes.
What about the rumors that...
Yes, I'm sure.
What? What? Did Karn finish putting those contracts together? Is that what we're saying?
I have no comment.
Has the ink dried? No. Has the ink dried on the contract?
She has not.
Okay. But has the ink dried on the contract? Have they signed contracts as far as you know?
I don't believe they have.
Okay.
No.
What about the idea that the potential GM for the Jets is one of the candidates, and if one of the front runners, what I understand, was Kevin O'Connell's roommate back at Arizona State.
Great.
Well, and then he might want to work with his buddy.
I will tell you this. If anyone of Kevin O'Connell's status goes to the Jets, he knows better.
Why? He's a quarterback whisperer.
That organization is a disaster. I will leave it at that. From Woody Johnson on down. It's not well run.
Well, there were people suggesting once they got Aaron Rodgers, this team was a big game contender, a lot, including Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot of people were suggesting, and
it's not just Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I think, relatively speaking, had a pretty good year. I mean,
he did?
Well, I think overall he was okay. I don't think he was awful, but the organization's not good. So, I mean, Kevin O'Connell's not going to the Jets. He's not going anywhere. But I think the bigger issue is, I was talking to Tana during the commercial break. I think both Kwesi and O'Connell made it very clear, and I think in terms of the health of J.J. McCarthy right now, you heard O'Connell and both of them say, hey, he's working out, he's doing everything you expected. I mean, he's coming off meniscus surgery from last summer, late summer. I believe he'll be the starting quarterback for this football team in September. And I don't think that's going on a limb. I think he probably would have been at some point this year. I think based on what we've seen, you guys have talked about it. You've talked about it a lot. Not only the quarterbacks who made it to the playoffs and were still playing, like the Jaden Daniels of the world, and Bo Nix, who made it to the playoffs with the Denver, and people were throwing a lot of cold water on Bo Nix early in his season, looking like, wow, man, this guy's a disaster. He's not going. And he actually played quite well with an okay Denver team. And Caleb Williams had to suffer the slings and arrows of a Bears organization that just hasn't been able to figure it out, and he still was standing at the end. And I think once they hire a new head coach, but the point of the matter is these rookie no one's waiting for these quarterbacks to develop like Jordan Love did in Green Bay, and following the footsteps of what Aaron Rodgers did. J.J. McCarthy is going to play, and I think the backup remains in doubt. I tend to agree. I mean, a lot of the quarterback market is going to be wide open. I mean, there's a lot of teams looking for, just efficient quarterbacks, not stars. And I think that, whether Darnold comes back and if they can try to work out a deal with the contract situation and maybe work out a deal for him, or if it's going to be Danny Jones, my feeling is, gun to the head, I'd say Danny Jones would be the guy. I think it's Danny Dimes, yeah. I just think that I think they've had, and Kwesi mentioned that, they've had private discussions with him and with him and his agent, and he kind of knows what the landscape is here, and he knows where it is elsewhere in the league, and he made a ton of money with the Giants. He's got some experience, but people have been kind of down on him, even though he played a lot more than Sam Darnold did going into this season. But I mean, that's just speculation, but I would be stunned if McCarthy doesn't start the regular season as the quarterback of this team.
Well, you can look at examples all over the league and all over the years about rookie quarterbacks that sit and wait a while. Brett Favre sat behind Rodgers, or Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. J. Love sat behind Rodgers. There's many more examples, I'm sure. There are also, though, what seems to be more prevalent now is you get your quarterback, especially if he's top 10 pick.
Right.
You draft him. Kid, you're starting. We need you now. And so the idea of McCarthy, I mean, in a perfect world, would you have a young guy watch some some crafty veteran and pick his brain and learn everything? Yeah, but it's also there's something about you're trying to win. You want to win now. There's salary caps. You don't want to. If that guy doesn't start till like his fourth year, then you get 1 year out of the rookie deal, and then he has to sign the big contract if he's worth it. So I think starting guys right away I don't have an issue with it. It's
not as if McCarthy, just left town. I mean, he's been integrally involved with every meeting and every session, and he's as I think Kwesi described him, he's a football addict. I mean, he is there all the time. And I think he learned a lot, even though he couldn't play this year, even practice this year, that he got his freshman eligibility out of the way in the school part of it, much the way that Deuce has done at Nebraska. I mean, he's ready for the prime time now.
He is. He's
ready to move on with his life, move out of the basement, and move on with his career.
The thought of that is great, finishing up college and coming back to the Twin Cities and getting started on the job search day one. But I got my whole life to be employed. Why don't I just take a year or two, 4, 5, 7 years to really just settle into my old man's basement and really find my footing before I find my footing.
Not necessarily JJ McCarthy like you want to wait a little longer. You want to be more Jordan Love like.
Exactly. I remember I watched a Tom Brady press conference one time, and he talked about how in college and the pros, but mostly for collegiate quarterbacks, there used to be programs rather than teams where you got guys who come in and they start right away. There used to be programs where guys really develop their skills and understand how a team works. And similarly, I think that I could take, a few years to really just, maybe take a shadowing opportunity every now and then.
Sure.
That way I can understand how a business runs from top to bottom before really jumping in and in
the meantime, you will help pay the rent, basically.
Of course.
Sure he will.
There's always availability at the tap room. They'll always have me back. I think Jesse and Yachty, from my understanding, I think they still enjoy me. I did a good job while I was there. I can pay rent.
What do they pay?
Not much.
Yeah.
Minimum wage and tips.
Yeah. So. It can be difficult to help pay for the rent.
I guess that's not a good example.
I will tell you this, though. Well, the job market, Deuce has been looking. There's not a lot of availabilities out there. It's tough, and there's a lot of people looking for work.
It is tougher.
It's tough, but I'll keep searching.
Well, even Baby Brother Peter, he's at The Ohio State University.
Right.
He's looking for an internship in private equity.
Yeah. Tough.
It's a full-time job searching for an internship in private equity for this year or in 2020. It's a full-time job. Do you know how many Zoom meetings he does and how many times he's doing a phone calls? He's in New York right now meeting with banks.
Right.
And there are only a few of these. Matter of fact, one of the banks, the whole business school went to New York, and one of the banks that they were supposed to meet with blew him off. Said, hey, I know we invited you guys up to show you around, but we're busy. We can't do it, so thanks for coming. So they didn't even get to go. So Pete right now, he says, just trying to get an internship in private equity is harder than his schoolwork. He even told Mom, and she goes, what about your grades? He goes, I don't worry about my grades. He goes, I never get anything. He goes, I don't get anything less than an A- anyways. I need to get that internship.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't have any connections, Rosie.
I know. I'm trying to help Deuce out.
Do you know anybody in private equity?
I do.
Yeah.
But not real.
I bet Karen could help.
Maybe Karen.
She's got connections.
She's got connections.
She does.
But anyway, so it's.
And then for you, Common, your golf game's a full-time job. Think about that.
Well, you know what somebody was saying? I know well, you're right, but, people were saying, the Viking, what do we have now that the Vikings are gone? Because, the Twins probably aren't going to be very well. Wheel of Topic will be spinning very soon. It won't be long before we'll be talking plenty of sports. Wheel of Topic to return probably March, early April.
Oh, boy.
10 and B, do you have a keyword?
I do. The fan wants to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com. Right now, for your shot at winning, the keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Want to look leaner and be stronger? Then check out the Nuva Bar. It actually helps you work out. The Nuva Bar is the compact, lightweight way to regain freedom and balance. It targets your lower body, upper body, abs, and core without getting down on the floor. Best of all, the Nuva Bar is now on sale for just $99.99 plus free shipping and comes with interchangeable resistance bands with 7 full workouts. So if you want a trimmer waistline to look like you're 40 in your 60s, get the Nuva Bar and forget about crunches on the floor. Go to nuvabar.com. That's NUVABAR.com.
I'm Common. He is Tenneby. I should have done one of those giveaways. Let's do it now, Tenneby. Let's give away that $100 gift card from our friends at 5 Iron Golf. I've been telling you about it. I've been there a couple of times. Plan to return soon. Great chef-inspired food, craft cocktails, and, of course, TrackMan simulators. You'll love it. It's the latest edition of golf simulators. It's in the North Loop of Minneapolis off of Washington, and you take a left on
second, third, whatever,
third, and then you go on 6th or 7th, and it's wonderful. You really like it.
Area.
It's back in the old. It used to be called Three Jacks, and then Three Jacks is now changed to
That's cool.
5 Iron Golf. We'll give away a $100 gift card to 5 Iron Golf to the 11th caller at 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. Deuce had wanted to go to a Wild game, so I secured a couple of tickets and was going to go to the game with him. And he said, hey, is there any way we can get a third? Because, Avi would like to. And how long did it take for me to go, hey, Avi can have my ticket. Don't worry about it.
It took probably a split second.
Well, you didn't even get through the sentence.
No, I didn't finish that. And you looked at me and you said, I would rather start my hair on fire.
Well, yeah.
And parking was kind of a disaster.
Was it really?
Well, it was just because the lots that we were looking at first, the main two right by XL, from everything we could tell, they were completely full. So we were driving around looking for street parking, and it was just a disaster. If you were in the car, I think that would have been the last straw, and your blood pressure, the higher and higher it climbed. I think you may have had a heart attack.
Remember when we went to Kitty's Vikings here back in October? And
Abbott was getting ripped.
I was ripping Abbott. Well, Abbott was able to secure me a parking pass.
Right.
And there was roads blocked off and such like that, so we had to go here and there. What did I say? I was
ready
bitter.
to turn around.
Yeah, there were all sorts of closures to allow people to walk to the stadium, and we were trying to use Google Maps to find this lot, and it took us on this kind of bizarre route that you had to take to get there. And as I'm telling Dad, go straight here, take it right there, he says, Abbott gave us a spot to a lot that doesn't even exist.
Poor Abbott.
The lot doesn't even exist.
Well, I didn't think it existed. I thought it was. I thought he was trying to get me going. He said, "Watch this," and wait till we get Common going with this. I'm going to give him a parking pass, and there's no lot.
There's a lot there.
Because of course the world revolves around you and everyone getting you going. That's what it's all about.
What was the beauty of it?
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful parking.
It was the Norm McGrew lot, literally right by the stadium.
You don't know who Norm McGrew is, do you?
No, I don't.
He was a mover and shaker here in the Twin Cities.
Oh. Well, how did you know about Norm McGrew?
It said on the parking pass, Norm McGrew lot.
That's funny. Yeah, he was one of the guys instrumental in a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Why
do I not know Norm McGrew?
I don't know why. He was, again, rather prominent. He was with the Harvey McKays and
the beautiful
Sid would hang out with them. It was Norm
the
McGrew
Shakers and the Movers.
Yeah, he was a shaker and a mover back in the day. Yeah, he was.
Not really sure who he was, me personally, but he had a mighty nice lot.
Yeah. Too bad. Yeah, the Wild. They got to get healthy. Man, that's all there is to it. They're missing.
Well, they gave him everything they wanted.
They did, and then cheap shot McDavid did a little chicken wing elbow in Johansson's jaw.
There's a lot of people bitter about it. Tenneby thinks it was, he flicked his elbow, but it wasn't like, watch this, I'm going to take it.
I know.
Like sometimes you see guys that they're saying, okay, guess what? I'm going to take this guy out, and that's just
good at it. He was very subtle, and the referee didn't even see it.
That was probably the loudest XL got last night, were the boos after that sort of cheap shot.
They probably showed it on the screen, I assume. I was watching it when it happened.
They put it up on the Jumbotron for everyone to see, and people were...
Because live... I saw Johansson just followed it over. I'm like, how did that just happen? It looked like he didn't get touched.
Right. Yeah. Then they show the replay.
Even the first couple times I watched the replay, I had trouble seeing what happened. And then Avi pointed it out to me. I was like, it was a cheap shot.
Went down like
the Wild got out to a 2-0 lead last night. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong. It's always good to have the lead. But I got to think the Wild should have kept that game scoreless as long as possible.
You can talk to Gordon about that.
I would have kept it 0-0 as long as possible.
Yeah, they're just undermanned. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that they, obviously they're missing Kaprizov and Spurgeon and Faber and who else are they missing? Brodin. Yeah,
Middleton's back. Right? Middleton's been back for a few games.
But
he's back. Yeah.
I still think they're going to have a very good team. When they were playing at a really high level, but they're missing too many quality players right now. Meanwhile, over at Target Center. I put the game on for 2
Can
minutes.
I just interject real quick?
Please do.
Tenemy, you notice I said Middleton's back, just because I wanted to sound like I knew a lot about hockey and I'm paying attention. I just remembered that at the last second. I wanted to sound like I'm a hockey guy. Anyway, you're right. They were down by 24 at one point.
I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, yeah, they're playing Golden State. The game started late last night. So that, 8:40, whatever time it was. I went, wait, is this a misprint? They're losing by 20-some points, and it's the first quarter? The Golden State is not very good. They got a guy named Steph Curry.
They got off to a great start. They were 10-2. They were 10-2.
Yes.
Then they kind of went in the tank, and last night got them to 20-20.
Yeah, it's just and the Wolves spent the entire game, including a tedious third quarter where there was more foul shots than field goal attempts, trying to get back into it. They eventually did. They actually tied it up at one point, but they never got over the hump. And again, couldn't close the deal at the end. And then Curry made a big three-pointer and disappointing loss again at home to a team that's very beatable right now. And the Wolves continue to have issues, and especially getting off to a horrific start like that at home against Golden State is hard to imagine. But that's who they are right now.
Someone says, why not park at Mark's Palace at Mancini's and take the bus they provide? Do they provide a little bus at Mancini's?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about this.
I park in the Civic Center, across the street there.
Yeah, well, that's where I told Deuce to park. I don't think it was full, but do you think it was full?
The two lots that I saw, the most obvious ones right by Excel, were full. Oh. But then I eventually moseyed on down to, kind of more like that Eagle Parkway where the Science Museum and Excel are up on that big kind of ridge. I went down lower and eventually one of the lots opened up. And as I was sitting waiting in that line, parking attendant guy flipped the sign around. There were only a few cars in front of me and said lot was full. And I started to pull over to the Science Museum lot and try and force my way in there. And as I'm trying to, a guy pulls up and he's staring at me just saying, nope, buddy, mine. But then parking attendant came up and said, nope, you're good. You're one of the few who can go in. So I was about to lose it. It was going to be a Dan Cole, Brainerd, Wendy's style meltdown. It was going to be bad.
It could be stressful.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? That was at Wendy's. We go in, the kids were very young. How old are they? About 6 and 4, 8 and 6, probably 8 and 6.
Old enough to remember. It was traumatizing.
So they have a Wendy's up there at
Nisswa.
In Nisswa, and we go in to get food, and we get it. We sit down, and we start eating, and the kid that's running the place, he's the on-site manager. He goes, "You can't eat here. We're closing. You got to leave."
What?
I didn't handle that well, did I? I said,
no, probably not.
We're not leaving.
I look over.
You sold us the food. You gave it to us. We're in here.
Right.
And it got ugly. We stayed, and then I talked about it on the air, and the manager called up and went on the air with me and said, "I apologize for that."
Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, but it's like, well, why did you give us the food inside then? But anyway.
Yeah, I know we're going to be taking a break for Spread Speaking in a minute, but the passing of the great Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker today, 90 years old, 90 years young. What a life. What a career.
Did you ever meet him?
I did once at the Metrodome. Okay. Just one of those things. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but I mean, he was always around, and Mr. Baseball, and anybody watched Major League, and of course did the Milwaukee Brewers for many, many years. Also played the game, and it was on the Tonight Show. He was one of Johnny Carson's favorites, and he had a lot of his pet phrases, just the movies, everything.
In Major League, he was.
Yeah, just
iconic characters.
Charismatic guy. Yeah, I mean, real big loss, especially for the Brewers organization and anyone who, because this is what he did for forever and ever. He says, I got nothing else to do. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can.
And he did.
He did. What a life.
We'll break.
Dynamite drop-in money at broadcast school has really paid off.
Bobby Uecker, dead at age 90. We'll break. We'll come back, and it'll be our favorite segment of the week. Coming up next, it's Spread Swing. Yeah. Well, let's do a giveaway. Sorry about that, Tenemy. Let's do the final giveaway. Let's give away those Flop, Sweat, and Tears tour tickets. It's for tomorrow night's show. Be the 11th caller at 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. Meat Sauce, Common, Larry Mondello Guy, in the wildly entertaining and funny Colleen Justice. Tickets available at cinemagrill.com. Cinemagrill.com. One show tomorrow at 7:30. Be the 11th caller. You'll win those tickets right now, courtesy of Cinema Grill and everyone at the Fan.
leaner and be stronger? Then check out the NuvaBar. It actually helps you work out. The NuvaBar is the compact, lightweight way to regain freedom and balance. It targets your lower body, upper body, abs, and core without getting down on the floor. Best of all, the NuvaBar is now on sale for just $99.99 plus free shipping and comes with interchangeable resistance bands with 7 full workouts. So if you want a trimmer waistline to look like you're 40 in your 60s, get the NuvaBar and forget about crunches on the floor. Go to NuvaBar.com. That's NuvaBar.com.
Double 13-14 past last segment of the show on a Thursday. It's time for playoff edition of Spread Swing.
Oh, you're clapping today.
I'm pumped today, baby. I've been waiting for this one.
First.
I've been waiting for this edition.
So how many years have you been participating in this?
And
you've been,
5, 6 years
and
now.
Never been out of the basement.
You've been basically dead last forever. You've never not been dead last.
I'm the cellar dweller. I'm fourth in the north.
Yeah.
Typically. Until now.
That may have changed.
Different rules now, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Tenneby will explain it all to us.
Yeah,
right
new
now.
playoff rules with the 4 of us. Basically, someone's getting eliminated. It's like a reality television show. Someone gets eliminated after every single week. And would you like to find out who got eliminated?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, let's first begin with who's leading NFL Spread Swing playoff edition after 1 week. And I don't think he's ever been in this position before. Deuce, Daniel Cole is
You
in the
believe in
lead.
miracles?
Now what do you think?
I doubted you.
You doubted me. Everyone doubted me.
2 great hits last week. He had the Rams plus 2.5 against the Vikings.
Oh, man.
And the Rams won that game by 18, so he gained 20.5 points there.
Whoa.
He also had Buffalo minus 8.5 against Denver. They won by 24.
Tell him, Tana.
So he
Tell him,
gained
Tana.
15.5 there. So in the lead after week 1 would be Deuce with 36 points.
You've never been that far over 500, have you?
Never.
Over 0?
No, never.
He's
Never
36 points.
Never been in the black.
I don't think that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Nope.
But there's a first time for everything, old timer.
Maybe things are looking up for you after all these years.
Hopefully. Maybe I've done something right. Maybe I've set myself on the right track and I won't be such a low-level loser.
I mean, you have been that. Trust me.
It's great that you're in first place, but your old man has a message for you.
Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear.
The common man, Dan Cole, is in second place. He had Houston plus 3.
Yeah. What do you think of that pick now?
They won by 20, so he gained 23 points.
Rex Ryan said he didn't realize the Chargers had a bye week 1. Well, what do you think now, Rex?
So you get 23 points out of that. You also had Pittsburgh plus 9.5 against Baltimore. They did lose by 4, or they lost by 14. Mm-hmm. So you did lose. Man, my math is way off today.
Yeah,
I'm
what's
screwing
wrong?
all this up. You did lose 5.5 on that one. So you are at 17.5 points. I'm doing my math on the fly, so I believe you're at 17.5 points. So it all comes down to me and Mark Rosen.
Oh, boy. I had the Vikings.
Well, let's talk about both of us had a really bad selection, Rosie.
Yeah, we did.
You had Minnesota minus 2.5.
They were right there.
You were so convinced they were going to bounce back after that Detroit lost.
Well, they were. They got screwed on that call. Cashman ran it in for the touchdown. It was 10 to 10, and here we go.
They allowed, 9 sacks?
League's got it in for us.
They lost by 18. It was actually worse at one point.
I
So
know. Trust me, I know.
So, Rosen, you lost 20.5 points on that one.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about my bad loss. I had the Chargers minus 3.
The Chargers.
They lost by 20 at Houston. Oh, no. So I'm now at minus 23.
Uh-oh. So it's about who we had winning.
So it happens in the other matchup. Rosen, you had Philadelphia minus 4.5 against Green Bay, and they won by 12. So you gained 7.5 points.
Yeah.
So you finished at minus 13.
Okay.
Minus.
Never been that. All right. And?
I had the Tampa Bay Washington game.
Oh, no.
I took Tampa Bay -3. They lost by 3. I lost 6 points. No. I finished at -29, so I am the first person eliminated from playoff edition of
Spread Swing.
So is this like Jeopardy? Do we carry over our scores?
You carry over the points. You're in a tough spot. You've got to gain. You got to gain a lot here. Otherwise, you're going to be eliminated after next week.
Yeah.
So Deuce is in the lead at 36. Common, you're in second at 17.5. Rosen, you're in third place at -13. So you're going to have to gain 31 points on Common, or you're going to have to gain 49 points on Deuce in just this week, or you are eliminated. So you are in trouble. But you do get the first selection, Mark Rosen.
Yeah. So based on that, based on the fact that I have to hit big, the team that I think gives me the best chance because they're only favored by a point is Baltimore. They're playing at Buffalo. I mean, I have to reach because I have to hope that Baltimore wins by a couple touchdowns. I mean, if I take Kansas City -8, they may win by 10, 14, whatever. I'm not going to gain as many points. So I'm going to have to roll the dice and go with my gut and go with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and say that I think they're going to be too much for the Bills. As much as I, love watching the Bills, I'll go with the Ravens -1.
Oh my gosh. Above average.
Well, the best is now if someone else, they have to decide whether they're going Buffalo or not.
Yeah,
potentially have the big swing.
Of course.
Spread Swing.
I think we know where this pick's going.
And I bet Deuce, when we first were about to start this edition, today's edition, he was ready to jump in and start talking because he's used to going first.
I had to hold back. Typically, 3 things in life: certain death, taxes, and me going first.
Yeah.
But it's bizarre.
I don't know what that feels like.
No, it's weird.
He doesn't even know what it's like to be sniped.
No.
Hold on. Give it a rim shot.
I would prefer the over-the-top laugh.
The roar has been restored. The roar has been restored.
You're right.
Well, here's what I've done. I've decided I'm going to get cocky again. I've been worried about the Kitties and the decimated Detroit defense. I thought they were going to lose to San Francisco. I thought they were going to lose to the Vikings. And I thought, I just have not had a good feel for this club because their defense has played worse than any defense in the league the last 5 weeks of the season. But now, why not? Even if I don't believe it, I'm going with it. I think the roar's been restored. Not only will Washington not score, not only will Washington not cross the 50-yard line, the Commanders won't even pick up a first down. I'll give the 9 points and take the Mota Site Kites.
The roars have been restored. What do you think of the Lions now?
Yeah. Stand up, Ford Field! Stand up!
Spread Swing.
Do I go again?
No, it's Deuce's turn.
Oh, Deuce hasn't picked yet.
No.
Never mind.
Well, I know we're used to him going first, so I understand your mistake.
Yeah,
Typically, I
understand that.
rattle off my picks, and then I'm ready to hit the door. I'm in the vestibule. I'm going down, and I'm out of here. But I'm about to take kind of an interesting pick.
Ooh.
As much as I think Detroit, I fully believe that Detroit is going to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they make their first Super Bowl appearance this season. But I think this game, Saturday night, now I'm more interested in the Muskegon Lumberjacks taking on the Lincoln Stars that Saturday night.
You'll be there.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be in attendance.
Running the camera.
At the Icebox. But I think that this is going to be a great game. I think Washington is going to give Detroit a run for their money. I like this Jane Daniels character. I think that 9 points that's a lot. That's a lot of points for a postseason game. I know Washington is the 6th seed, and Detroit is the better team. They're going to win this football game. But I think it's for sure going to be a one-score game. I think it's going to be decided by a field goal because I have not forgotten that the Detroit Lions, at heart, they're the cardiac cats, and I think it's going to go down to the wire. Detroit will pull it off, but I'm taking Washington. I think +9 is I love that spread. I'm taking Washington to make it a battle at Motor City, in the Motor City at
The
the
roar
Litter
has
Box.
not been restored.
It sounds like you're thinking this, Deuce.
The Lions are a terrible team and a terrible city, full terrible fans, and a terrible stadium, and terrible uniforms, and terrible cheerleaders.
Spread swing.
All right, Tennessee, it's up to you.
No, I'm not going.
That was cruel.
Vicious.
Well, I have to contradict myself because
You can't pick the Vikings. They're out.
I can't pick the Vikings. Thank God. This week, I think Pat Mahomes hasn't played a month. Houston is overachieved to get where they are. You see this time and time again in these divisional playoff games.
I think Mahomes is 6-0 in the divisional playoff.
Yeah,
Are you saying Mahomes has had 3 weeks off?
Yes,
Yes,
something like that.
3 weeks.
Yes, and I just think they're fresh. They're ready to go. They're ready to move on to the championship game, playing in their home stadium, of course. And I think Houston overachieved a little bit. They're a good team, a fun team to watch. But I'm hoping Kansas City's going to roll at this point. So I'll take Andy Reid's bunch.
I thought you were going to pick against Kansas City there for a while.
No, I'm going to pick them. Otherwise, I look.
You like rest over rust.
I like rest over rust, and I just think the Eagles-Rams game is too tough. I think the Rams will give them a hell of a run. So I'll go with Kansas City because that's almost a sure thing if they're going to win the game. So
it's a new feeling for me. I've been sniped. I don't know what this feels like.
Spread swing.
So Common and Deuce, you only have 4 you can choose from. You can take Houston +8, Philadelphia -6, Rams +6, or Buffalo +1. Those are your 4 options.
No one's, as you just said, touched Philadelphia, LA yet.
No.
Is snow expected in the forecast in Philadelphia? Is that what I saw?
I hadn't seen that. I don't know.
Somebody told me that today, that snow was expected. That doesn't mean there will be. I think snow would benefit Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'll tell you.
They're playing Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like afternoon snow, high of 35, 90% chance.
Wow.
Ooh.
Despite that fact, even though I would favor Philadelphia, here's what I'm going to tell you. I like the way Philly's the Rams are playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a game that's going to be decided in the trenches. You have a offensive line that's probably the best in pro football. They have 3 guys that are going to the Pro Bowl. They're considered, I think, by most people to be the best offensive line in football. That Rams defense has been playing some really good football. Those young guys, they drafted 4 guys in the first 2 rounds. They put pressure on the quarterback. They can stop the run. I think the game is going to be decided there. I'm going to go with Ute, even though maybe all the Philadelphia guys might be younger. I think some of them are a little longer in the tooth. And I also look at the 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
I like Jalen Hurts. He's a good quarterback, especially when he's doing the tush push. But I just love the way Stafford plays. The veteran savvy. He's got a big game in his back pocket, so he doesn't have the pressure of never winning one. I'm going to take Philadelphia or Los Angeles and the 6 points.
+6.
And +6.
All right.
Spread swing.
I don't have a lot to choose from. And if there's one thing I've learned from following the NFL over the duration of my life,
most teams don't like each other.
Most teams don't like each other very much, and I don't like to go against Patty Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason. I don't want to touch Houston that game. I think Kansas City is going to win it in a blowout. But I think in the Super Bowl in New Orleans on February 9th, 2025, somebody's O is going to go. I think it's going to be a Detroit-Buffalo Super Bowl.
That's a good pick. That's a good one sitting there for you.
And
What do you mean it's a good pick? Your first pick of the day was Baltimore -1.
What I'm saying is that to have a team like Buffalo playing at home, sitting there in your last pick, that's not bad. No, I still think Baltimore's going to win. I'm not shying away from that.
I think Josh Allen he's played phenomenal football this year. He was my fantasy quarterback. I love the guy. He led me to a championship in my first ever fantasy football season that I ever played. I won my league. Josh Allen is going to get to the Super Bowl. It's going to be, thank you very much. It's going to be a Detroit and Buffalo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If it's Kansas City and Philly in the Super Bowl again, I'm not even going to watch. It's going to be KC and Buffalo. This is Josh Allen's year. This is Buffalo's year. I hate that either Baltimore or Buffalo is not going to make it because they're both such likable clubs. But Buffalo's at home, +1. I like Buffalo. Give me Buffalo. Give me the Buffalo Bills playing in Orchard Park.
Very good. So there we go. There is another edition of Spread Swing. Can you play it again?
Spread Swing.
received this text message courtesy of the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line.
The Holla Hotline.
Yeah, the Holla Hotline is what we like to call it. And it says, it's January 16 and Deuce still hasn't returned to school. Now we know what the N stands for on their football helmet.
Knowledge?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's a long time to be here.
I mean, you've had 4 months off, it seems like.
Classes start the 21st. I'll be back.
Wow.
I'll be back in the
semesters
classroom.
or is it
It's semesters.
Okay.
It's semesters. I've had semesters start on January 27th or 28th before. I've had winter break go all the way up to the end of the month, and now we're getting to the point where I'm ready to be back in Lincoln. I wake up in the morning and I walk downstairs and Dad's making noise. If anyone was wondering what it's like living with him, it's just the same as listening to the radio. He's constantly making noise. It's the same act over and over and over again. He's like a wind up. What was that one gizmo?
I told you I'm like an organ grinder monkey.
An organ grinder monkey. That's exactly what it's like at home too. So I think I'm ready to get down to Corntown, USA. I'm ready to get back to Lincoln.
He's exasperated when he gets up and he's still kind of sleepy, and I'm right away just wound up, and I just start repeating the same old bits over and over again.
Or he's playing music. I got spared from the low spark of High Heeled Boys.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
That's good.
This break. But
I'll immediately start trying to spar with them and try to fight, box with them and stuff like that. And he just doesn't want any part of it.
I'm still waking up.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
This is noon. Oh,
so you'll leave tomorrow,
yes.
and you'll be back. Meanwhile, you're not going to be going anywhere with the Vikings because they're not going anywhere.
No, it's sad. I stare at the U.S. Bank Stadium and think of what could have been. But you know what? I think we heard from O'Connell and everybody. It was stunning the way the season ended. Not that they lost, but the manner in which they lost those last 2 games.
That's the most disappointing part.
That's the thing that I think people just can't wrap.
If you lose 31-30 on a last-second field goal.
The Lions game here was a great example of that. That was a great football game.
Really good game.
And the Lions happened, they deserved it. They went down the field, kicked the field goal, and the Vikings couldn't capitalize Darnold at the end of that game, but it was a well-played game. Completely the opposite of what happened in Detroit and obviously what happened against the Rams in Glendale last week. So that's the disappointing part, but I got to pick up the pieces and keep going.
So Teneby, one of my listeners, a friend of mine who texts us and talks more than I know, says, double check Tenna's math. Common, you should have 18.5 after wild card weekend, not 17.5.
Yeah, I screwed up 2 things in a row, so I was trying to
that
do it
point
on
could
the
be
fly.
very big.
Yeah,
that could be huge. That could change it.
It could mean everything.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to go down to the
go Lions.
23 minus 5.5 is 17.5.
Oh,
yeah.
It is?
Fun weekend.
I don't know then.
They taught me a couple things down at the University of Nebraska.
Here's what I'll tell you. I still have my doubts.
Oh, no, I see. It is 8.5. I shouldn't have done the 5.5. Yep.
I still have my doubts that because of the Detroit defense. Matter of fact, you go back to that Detroit game. They had a nice game plan against the Vikings, right? They decided we're going to blitz 50% of the time. We're going to go back and we're going to do single coverage, and we're just let whatever happens. And they also did this thing. They showed it on the television. It was happening the way they would rush from the outside to try to keep Darnold in that pocket and not allow him to escape at all. And the Vikings won the game. The Lions won the game. So everybody, Aaron Glenn is getting a lot of verbal slaps on the back for the great defensive plan they came up with, and it was. But that being said, Darnold still missed open receivers earlier in the game. If he's spot on those, I think Minnesota wins that game.
The Vikings had a half a dozen chances in the red zone.
Right.
Inside the 10-yard line.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
My point is, I think that I want to say they got lucky, but it kind of went their way because Darnold didn't hit the open guys when he had an opportunity to. I don't see Washington making those kinds of mistakes. Yeah. So I think Detroit's going to have to beat them in a shootout. Most people tell you defense wins championships. I've always believed that. That's another reason I'm a little skeptical right now. But you just got to win too. So if you can win in a shootout against Washington, you get Philly or the Rams at your place, and who knows what'll happen.
And we got Monty back. Our offense is going to get another gear back.
We got Knuckles back. Knuckles, and we have Knuckles and Sonic.
Well, given how last year ended, and obviously the NFC Championship game, this would be hugely disappointed with Detroit having home field and getting the bye and et cetera, to have this opportunity, because you don't know if you're going to get back again. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that the window can close very quickly, and despite the fact that you have built this team up. Not every team, there's very few Kansas City Chiefs teams that go on a roll, or New England Patriot teams, especially this day and age. So this is an opportunity that the Lions just cannot afford to let slip by.
Especially with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Both coordinators going to be gone.
Yeah.
This text messenger says, just looked it up and Rosen had it wrong. Norma Grew is an actress.
What?
I don't get it either. What's wrong with people?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I always love that one.
Deuce, good to see you again, my boy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tomorrow is going to be emotional.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
You're going to cry tears of joy as I walk through.
As will you.
Did you get the oil change of Paulie's?
I did get the oil change, and he's got the deed to
the title,
the Cherry Mint catalog, the title to the Cherry Mint catalog.
Glad you took care of that. Mark, I'll see you next week on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend.
Very good. You too. Yep. 10B, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Who are we playing? Oh, you're out.
I'm out tomorrow,
Do we know if there is a program password
That's
or not?
on for you guys to organize.
Oh, boy. Probably won't be now. We'll talk tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Tick and JGR next year on The Fan.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Later.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Want to look leaner and be stronger? Then check out the Nuva Bar. It actually helps you work out. The Nuva Bar is the compact, lightweight way to regain freedom and balance. It targets your lower body, upper body, abs, and core without getting down on the floor. Best of all, the Nuva Bar is now on sale for just $99.99 plus free shipping and comes with interchangeable resistance bands with 7 full workouts. So if you want a trimmer waistline to look like you're 40 in your 60s, get the Nuva Bar and forget about crunches on the floor. Go to NuvaBar.com. That's NuvaBar.com.